Hey guys, good morning. I wanted to bring you a little tips video here on some green stripe hopper repair tricks. We are working with the gears in the gearbox. There are actually 4 of these in the green stripe, and today we are working on the first generation green stripe hoppers. 2 of these gears, the center 2, number 2 and 3, are the same. The lowest gear is the large one, and the top gear does not have a step. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a flat gear. So what I found is hoppers that back up. I'm doing a set of hoppers for a good customer here, and visual inspection showed the gears to be good. We put them in a cleaning solution, get rid of all the old grease, brush them off. But one of these hoppers, and I'm going to show you here, tends to lag a little bit. And what I mean by lag is it will back up on occasion. So I have these hoppers jumped, so they think they're full of money, which we do on the bench when we're testing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with 2 coins in each hopper. We're going to put $1 in, and we should get 2 out of each side. Now that went pretty smoothly. I'm going to try it again. Okay, this one here is the one I had a little problem with before I left last night. Still seems a little slow to start, and I'm going to take that one apart, because when you test, when you have just one or two coins in it. Alright, so when you test and you just have 2 coins in it, you don't have 1,600 plus a hopper extension, another 1,000 coins. You don't have 50, 60 pounds of coins. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this left one apart, because I know it did have a little bit of a delay issue, and I don't want to send it back to the customer like that for obvious reasons. So what we're going to do here, try and make some room. I'm going to try and take this apart real quickly while we are on live camera, and then if I have to pause, I will when we take the gearbox apart. Alright. Maybe, well, there is a screw in there. Wasn't tightened. Alright, so we take off the, this is what I call the small or the thin side cover. This is only maybe 1 inch wide. So get this out of the way. Take off our coin belt and idler drive gear. And now we're going to go into the gearbox and show you how we diagnose a bad gear. Alright, so that's about as far as we're going to go. Now you can see that this is clean. I use synthetic grease, and these have only been assembled since yesterday. Okay, So what I want to do here, put a little clear oil on my hands so the black grease doesn't stick to me. A little trick I learned. So I'm pretty sure the flat gear is going to be good. Where can I put these? I like to have them off the napkin so I don't lose all my grease. Here is one of the two gears, drive gears in the middle. Now, let me see if I can get a nice close-up here. This is kind of a, you got to have safecracker hands to detect a bad tooth. And these appear to be just fine. So what I'm going to do now, this gear is the same as the second one I took off. So we're going to try this one, doing the same thing. If there's something foreign, like right there, okay, we just found the problem. Now it's stuck here, but it won't do it again, so I may have flushed out a little tiny piece. What I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to clean this gear with a little bit of brake clean. Get this for $3 at Walmart. So we're going to clean this gear so we can visually inspect it again. Now, we did this yesterday before we assembled them, but you never know when a microscopic little piece of something can get in that gear. Because my first test, and it was late in the day, I didn't feel like taking it all back apart. My first test did show that that hopper backed up the first time, which means it's trying to flush out a bent coin, which was not the case because there was no coins in it. So upon inspection of this gear, it's really in good shape. So now I'm going to take my little nylon brush and I'm just going to go around the step part of the gear, just in case there's a small, who knows what there could be. And then I visually inspect the outer part of the gear. Okay, we're going to put it on now with no grease, and then we're going to check it. Yeah, see, there was something in it that we just missed, and we have now corrected that problem. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to put it back together, and we are going to, but this is the best way to check these. Now I'm going to put the next set of gears on, pardon me, the next single gear. As soon as I put some grease here, I put a little on the shaft, a little here. You don't have to coat the entire outside. I usually get grease on, 50% of it, because the first time you roll it around, it's going to coat the gears. So now it gets a little tougher to turn because obviously this is gear reduction. Okay, but I've been around twice now, no detection of any kind of obstruction. So we're going to put on the gear that used to be in the number 2 position. Now you can't turn this. This is just too tough. There's too much gear reduction, but you can still turn it here. Okay, so we're going to go around 1.5 times just to be sure there's not something in one of the teeth, which it doesn't appear that there is. Okay, now we get to the top portion. We can't really reach underneath it to do any more turning. So what we're going to do now is going to button it back up, and then we're going to try it. Okay, I don't like to drive screws into plastic with power. You can do it if you're real good on the trigger, and I only use, I think these are 4 amp power screwdrivers, but I really like them. I've had them for quite a while now. These are Ryobis, and probably get the details there, but I'm pretty sure they're 4 amp. I had some 2 amp ones at one point. They were a little light duty. They had a hard time on occasion unscrewing some stuff that was in plastic. Okay, now this is where a lot of people have issues. First of all, the teeth, and when I say the teeth, go in the down position. Somewhere we're hung up here. Okay, there we go. Somewhere, this will not spin, and I do mean it will not spin freely unless those teeth, all 16 of them underneath, are in that channel. Okay, so then I'll show you how I put this drive gear on there. So I line it up kind of in the center of one of these, because as you'll see, there's little cogs in there that'll kind of get in your way. Okay, now you want to be sure when you do this, you don't knock that one off to where it's now no longer in the groove. Okay, so now when you put one of these back on, side cover wise, it's a little tricky, especially if you've never done one. You kind of want to line up your pin socket, and nothing needs to be forced, guys, and I mean nothing. Okay, so we line it up here. We slide it in the grooves. And that's not in. I missed the groove a little bit. We'll try it again. I missed it on this side. I have a little bit of a lighting problem here today. Let me... There we go. Now, let's see if the third time is the charm. Like I said, guys, if you have to do this a couple of times, still not in, we are recessed here. Alright, sometimes I'm doing this by myself, which I normally do. No, still missing it. What I'm going to do here is make sure these little keepers are giving me enough room to slide this on there. Now that time felt right. Okay, I'm going to show you here. This should not be, I'm going to put one screw in just so I don't lose what I have here. Now these screws are a little tougher to go into plastic. I'm not so much afraid, but as you can see, and that discoloration there is grease, you can see it's even northeast, south, and west. In other words, if you have the bottom of this and it's recessed in there, or the top, it's not right. It's not going to work. You're not going to plug in well with your socket. Okay, so let me button this up, and we're going to start it up. And I apologize for this video getting a little bit longer than I expected, but we'll go as fast as we can here. I go around kind of like when you put a tire back on a car. And you don't want to hear a pop like the plastic seats in. It should already be seated. Alright, let's get our mounting plates back together here. I did put grease on the pins and in the socket because there's a chance this hopper may not come out of that plate for a year, 2 years, maybe more. Alright, so we're going to put our jumper pins back on to where it thinks it's full of money, and then we're going to try it again. Alright, powering up. We're going to need some more dollar bills. This is just a simple test jig I use. I use one of the old legacy boards, as you can see there. The center. Alright, so we are going to try it again and get our 4/4 ready. We can actually put those in before. Yep, they both came out at the same time, so we're good to go. Anyways, that was probably just a fluke in this left side, but there was some sort of an obstruction in there. Luckily, it was not a bad tooth on one of the gears. And but anyways, guys, go slow the first time. Use synthetic grease. I'm going to show you my little package here. I think what I'm going to do, so I'm going to put a link to this grease. A lot of people write and ask. Tri-Flow, clear synthetic grease. It's really meant for bicycle chains, and I think the clear has to do with it won't get all over your pants and everything else. So I'm going to put a link to where to buy a tube of that stuff. I think it's only $5 and well worth it. So guys, if you're working on really any hoppers, that little detection of bad gears will work. So guys, appreciate your viewership, and if you liked the video, click like, and we try and answer all comments. For now, Doug at Doug's World Tour. Out.